Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So today I've got some news I want to cover. This is one of those tricky things. We get all these different type of reports in and trying to dig through, kind of read between the lines and try to prepare accordingly. So first thing I want to cover is this stuff with Senator Graham and Senator Blumenthal. I probably destroyed that name. It's a Republican and Democrat. This I first heard over there on New York Prepper, NY Preppers channel, and I took the video and I shared it on our community posts. Unfortunately, with YouTube and all their wisdom of censorship, we lost it. So I was able to get it back up, although I did see Canadian Prepper also covered it as well this morning. So again, NY Prepper is where I first heard this information. Now with this, guys, this come from C-SPAN. All right, so I'm digging into this thing, and they hold a news conference on Russia tactical nuclear threats. There's a link in the description of this actual video that's been done, this whole speech between these two, and if you actually listen to it, guys, it makes you go, oh shit. Not that I think that Russia is fixing to go blow up some stuff. I'm looking at it as a false flag event. They keep pushing that they need to Article 5 NATO as soon as Russia uses tactical nukes, or something happens with that power station and an event happens right there in Ukraine that all of NATO needs to jump on board this, even though it's not any of the NATO nations being attacked. I believe there's going to be a push, and we will be going into a kinetic conflict with all this. But that's my opinion. Everyone disagrees with me, or they agree with me, whatever. So what do you do as a prepper? Well, you keep on stockpiling, right? Don't run to the store. Don't drop your whole rent money and all that stuff. We keep prepping like we have been. Go check your stocks out, rotate them out, make sure everything is good to go. Make sure your water that is stored correctly. You don't have any algae growing in it or anything else like that. Now, on top of news, Green Greg is another YouTuber I follow, got a lot of great information. He released a video really early this morning. Yeah, I don't sleep very well. Not because I'm paranoid, it's just I have my own issues. I'm not a morning person, I'm a night person. There was a lot of activity in Minot Air Force Base, Minot, North Dakota. And, is that right? Yeah, Minot, North Dakota, yeah. And, couldn't figure out what was going on. He did a video on it, and there is military running around on base. There was also civilian police officers running around. So when he did the video, he had the information. It says he's not really sure what's going on. Wasn't trying to scare anybody. He was just bringing the information to everybody because there was civilian law enforcement. He was thinking along the lines that someone did something stupid at the base or tried to get into the base. Yeah, something like that. Well, he just released a brand new video out, guys, and I know military trains, okay? They're always training with all this ramp up of possible conflict, kinetic war with Russia, China. Yeah, I want our military to be training. So they're in Minot Air Force Base. Some B-52s were launched, all right? That's what's going on. And I'm not saying they're going to go bomb anything. It's just could be training, but we're seeing an uptake in this, especially when they turn off their tracking. Yeah, their locators and stuff. Now, in a wartime scenario, of course, I completely agree that they shut off all this tracking information because you don't want the enemy to know where your jet is or where the bombers are. So part of training, yes, you would turn these things off as well, but we're seeing an uptake in that to turn off these locators. So the B-52s launched along with 8 F-35 Raptors. They were launched as well. Protect those bombers. His video said that he was talking to one of his friends, a weatherman. He had let him know that he saw him flying overhead. And he saw the F-35s, the B-52 bombers. So he was letting him know. What's strange is that these transponders are turned off more and more every day. You know, we saw all the Ospreys flying into California. All right. We see military equipment get moved around a lot. Now, being that it is a possible conflict, up to a world stage conflict, I would expect to see a lot more military equipment being moved around. and more training going around, because that's what the military does. They train. Why? Because they are designed to destroy. They protect, but to protect means they got to destroy. They got to know their system, so they have to train somewhere. Am I screaming and hollering that we're all going to die tomorrow? No, I'm not. As preppers, we need to look at this, understand that, hey, we are on the breaking point of major conflict. What you need to do, what we do, I just got back from the store buying more propane. Yeah, I like my propane. Getting extra supplies, you know, there's things that I feel like if something happens, what's going to be the shortage of that I'm lacking in, or I would like to have more of? Well, today's trip was more propane. This is what we need to look at. Now, I don't want you to go and spend your rent money. Don't do that. Pay your bills, because if nothing happens on the timetable that you want, you're going to be getting evicted. And all your preps, good luck trying to figure out where to put all that. You got to be responsible in today's society, but still prep accordingly as much as possible. Now, if a major event happen, do I think that you're going to have to pay your rent? Personally, probably not. But until that does, make sure your bills are paid. Make sure you don't have anything breathing down your neck, and you're not losing your home or your vehicle or anything else like that because you jumped the gun, you got scared. We prep for a reason. We prep so that when an event happens, we're not running around frantic. Yeah, I went to the store to go buy propane. That was going to happen either way. Just today I decided to do it a little early. I was going to wait till Saturday. Today's Friday. So, no big deal for me. What I want you to do is make sure you have food, water filtration, water stored up, medical supplies. Yes, of course, your freedom seeds for your bang bangs, for your firearms. Absolutely. I was actually going to do a video today about rationing. People don't seem to understand that during World War II, there was a lot of rationing. You know, I posted a video. It was an old video about kind of like a documentary with the rationing and stuff like that, and should be still in my community the community board there. You know, when they said that you got 4 gallons of gas a week, where are you going to go with 4 gallons of gas? Not much, not far. Let's say that you want to take that gas, because like down here in Florida, everybody has, well, a lot of us has gasoline generators in case the power goes out. 4 gallons of gas. My tank is a 3-gallon tank on my gasoline generator. On a normal half load, that means how much power is being used, I can get 12 hours on a tank. Under full load, in other words, it really kicks on, I'm going to get 6 to 8 hours on 3 gallons. So let's say that that's the only fuel that you're allowed to collect each week. Down here in Florida, it gets hot. It is really hot out here now. So let's say that they decide to shut down power grids or regulate your power. Another rationing. If you need air conditioning to survive, and I know there's plenty of people up there, I can live without it. Well, you're not down here in Florida either. You're not down here in Louisiana, not down here in Texas. It's horrible without air conditioning. Now, did people live that way without it many years ago? Absolutely. But now our bodies have been conditioned to it now. Houses are structured differently. You can't just open up a window and open up another one, have a cross breeze constantly blowing through your house. And also back then, they had trees that actually helped cause shade to keep homes cool. Nowadays, when you look at homes, they clear everything out and the house is just sitting in the middle of a field somewhere. No tree around, no shade, hot box. So have things stockpiled up. When it comes to rationing, guys, and there should be a pop-up there of that video. If y'all don't want to go to the community board, click on that, watch that, really look at it. When it came down to clothing, basically I had enough rationing stamps to buy 1 outfit of clothes every 6 months. Fortunately, back then, most people were seamsters. They knew how to make their own clothes, and that's exactly what they had to do. Not many people do that. Not many at all. Do you have the bolts of cloth and stuff to actually manufacture your own clothes if this happens? This is why we prep. This is why when this happens, we have stockpiles. I know the question is going to be, dude, if you have stockpiles of food and it's rationing, will you go to the ration lines? Depends on what I need. All right. I don't have cheese stockpiled up because cheese is kind of hard to, keep. Really is. Unless you are like Alaska Prepper, where he's waxing his own cheese and stuff like that. Well, I'm not set up for that. That's why we don't do that. But I want everybody to be leery of this. My belief is that if they start giving out rationing cards in today's society, my concern is that they will also be doing a home inspection to make sure that you're not a prepper. Another reason why I say move your stuff around. Don't keep it all in one location. But that's entirely up to you on that. Some people say, well, if you got stuff, you should stay out of the ration line. Others say, I got stuff, but there's other stuff I need, so I'm going to hit the ration line. Now, with rationing, guys, we talk about precious metals and bartering items and things like that. The reason being is because there was a black market back then as well. There's also a lot of counterfeit stamps for ration cards. They'll be back. Of course they will. Odds are it won't be the stamp. It'll be EBT cards issued is what it's going to wind up being. But yeah, there will be a black market out there as well. This is where bartering items, precious metals, even cash on hand was still accepted during World War II. As a matter of fact, the economy, from my understanding at the time, the dollar was super strong. The issue is that the supply was so low, it doesn't matter how much money you had, you can only buy a certain amount of things. That's it. Everything, well, a large majority of stuff was rationed. These rationed items, the only way you're going to be able to get access in that is if you got into the black market on this. So anyway, guys, I would encourage you to continue to be prepping. I'm not screaming holler, we got to go run and grab all of our radiation suits and stuff like that. I will tell you this much, I'm actually going through mine again just to make sure everything's in location, everything is still in great shape. That's what preppers do. We see the threat. I'm going to go take a look at my stocks, make sure everything's lined up, all my filters are ready, all my masks, all my suits, I have everything ready to go. Do I think that I'm going to get hit with a nuclear missile? Well, if I did, I wouldn't have to worry about jack. But the aftermath is what you have to deal with. And it's not just radiation. The aftermath of the area. People still have to survive. People survived nuclear attack before. Japan. But the rest of the people that were never even radiated still suffered from the location. Infrastructure destroyed. Food, water, all these things were cut off from them. And that's exactly what will happen here. Again, do I think we're going to get hit? No, I don't, but I still prepare accordingly. Because I think what they're going to do is do a false flag event over there in Ukraine just to ramp up our involvement as the United States and NATO and force us in this. For some reason, they want this war. That's my belief. What we have to do, because they don't care about us, is to prepare our families, prepare our groups. Because this isn't going to be something that just happens overnight and be over in a few days. This is something that's going to be prolonged out. So what you need to do is start stockpiling. That way when the crunch time happens to you and your family, you're not missing meals. You have medical need. You have medical supplies when you need it. You have a way of having clean, drinkable water. You have the availability to power up your home. This is why we prep. All right, guys. Speak to you later.